always the difficulty, I think, with these exercises is how do you translate commitments into real action on the ground? And
The royal world was left stunned when King Charles III revealed he would be seeking a divorce from Queen Camilla, a development that reverberated not only through the corridors of Buckingham Palace, but across the entire globe. The news came with an eerie abruptness, a seismic shock from a monarch long perceived as settled in both his public role and personal life. After decades of scrutiny, controversy, and ultimately stability in their relationship, the unraveling of their marriage seems almost surreal. Yet the king's announcement was unmistakably real, and its implications are far-reaching. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The marriage between King Charles and Queen Camilla was more than a union of two individuals. It was a symbol of redemption, reconciliation, and the ability of the monarchy to evolve beyond scandal. Their long-standing relationship, once the subject of salacious headlines and public outrage, eventually became emblematic of the modern royal family's effort to bridge tradition with personal authenticity. For years, the pair appeared to withstand the pressures of royal life with a composed front, their public appearances often accompanied by laughter, affection, and coordinated diplomacy. That image, cultivated with care, now stands at odds with the reality suggested by this sudden and staggering decision. Observers immediately began piecing together the signs they might have missed. Instances of cold formality, solo appearances, or subtle shifts in demeanor that might have pointed to a deeper rift behind palace walls. The reality, however, remained inaccessible to the public for so long, shrouded by royal protocol, private routines, and the discretion that defines the monarchy's inner workings. For King Charles to go as far as making the announcement himself, bypassing layers of press secretaries and official statements, suggested that this was more than a mere formal separation. It was personal, deeply so. His decision to part ways with Camilla, especially at this late stage in both of their lives, has ignited widespread speculation. The reasons have not been publicly detailed, but the very nature of such a decision from a reigning monarch raises numerous questions about both personal anguish and institutional strain. Was this the culmination of years of private conflict, or had something more recent ignited an irreconcilable divide? The world may never know the full truth, but the implications stretch well beyond the couple themselves. From a constitutional standpoint, the announcement triggers unprecedented considerations. Monarchs in the modern era have rarely undergone divorce while still reigning. Historically, abdication or scandalous exile followed such events. Though Charles's reign was intended to usher in an age of continuity following the iconic rule of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, this decision punctures that perception, potentially altering how the public views his stability and authority. It tests the elasticity of the monarchy in adapting to personal changes at its very core. Public sentiment, already mixed toward Camilla over the years, finds itself caught in a spiral of re-evaluation. For some, the Queen Consort had successfully reinvented herself, transforming from a controversial figure into one of quiet dignity and resilience. For others, she remained a symbol of past royal betrayal, and the divorce may reignite old narratives that had long since been buried beneath the surface of royal pageantry. Whether one viewed their union as a triumph of love over adversity, or a compromise made for appearances, the end of their marriage demands a rethinking of the roles they each play in the national consciousness. Culturally, the impact is no less significant. The British monarchy, often upheld as a bastion of continuity and tradition, has always walked a delicate line between public spectacle and private reality. The romantic histories of its members have long been fodder for tabloids, documentaries, and biopics. Yet the dissolution of a king's marriage while in office places the institution under a microscope in ways it hasn't faced since the 1990s, when royal divorces seemed to dominate headlines, culminating in the dramatic separation of Charles and Princess Diana. But this time is different. This isn't the heir struggling with personal expectations, this is the sovereign himself, the embodiment of national stability, choosing a path that speaks more to personal resolution than public duty. It could be interpreted as a sign of strength, that even at the top of the hierarchical ladder, one does not have to remain bound to a life that no longer brings fulfillment. Conversely, critics may frame it as a crack in the foundation, an admission that even the most curated royal relationships cannot withstand the toll of expectation, time, and possible disillusionment. This turn of events could also dramatically reshape the future of the royal household. Camilla's position as queen consort was already a delicate one, negotiated carefully in the wake of public hesitance and royal rebranding. Her departure from that role brings logistical and ceremonial questions to the forefront. Will she maintain any title? Will she retreat into private life? Or continue to appear at public events in some capacity? Such uncertainties could result in a reshuffling of royal responsibilities, placing greater pressure on younger members of the family to fill in the newly created void. Equally intriguing is how this divorce may influence the perception of royal marriages in general. The union of Prince William and Princess Catherine has often been portrayed as a modern fairy tale, their partnership used to contrast the complexities of Charles and Camilla's past. Now, with the king's marriage ending so publicly, it casts a long shadow on the idea of enduring royal love stories. It opens the floodgates for commentary on whether genuine emotional satisfaction is possible within such structured, scrutinized lives. Internationally, the monarchy has long served as a symbol of British heritage and diplomacy. The king and queen consort often represented the UK at global events, and the image of a unified royal couple projected a sense of composure and grace. With that dynamic now irrevocably altered, foreign leaders, diplomats, and citizens around the world will be watching closely. Will the king appear diminished without his consort at his side, or will he emerge renewed, perhaps more relatable in his human vulnerability? In the UK, where monarchist and republican sentiments frequently clash, this development could re-energize debates about the institution itself. For royalists, the divorce may be seen as a personal matter, unconnected to Charles's capacity to lead. For Republicans, however, it may serve as ammunition in arguments against the monarchy's continued relevance in a modern democratic society. The private becoming public, especially at the highest level, challenges the very idea that the monarchy is above the fray of everyday struggles. Media frenzy, of course, is unavoidable in such a monumental moment. Tabloids, broadcasters, and social media platforms have erupted with theories, commentary, and retrospectives on the couple's journey. The narrative arc, from scandalous affair to official marriage to sudden separation, offers the kind of dramatic highs and lows that seem almost too scripted to be real. Yet the truth is that these are lives shaped not only by protocol, but by human emotion, and the end of Charles and Camilla's marriage serves as a poignant reminder of that. The psychological toll on the individuals involved cannot be underestimated. For King Charles, who has faced scrutiny for virtually every personal decision he's made since youth, this step signals a deeply felt conviction, perhaps born of long reflection and quiet pain. For Camilla, it means re-entering a world where she no longer has the protective embrace of official royal status, a daunting prospect given her decades of vilification and eventual acceptance. Both face a future that is uncertain, not just in title or role, but in identity. Their families, too, are likely to feel the reverberations. Princes William and Harry may respond with private concern or public neutrality, but the emotional complexity of watching their father undergo another public separation cannot be ignored. Extended royal relatives may be called upon to support or realign in subtle yet significant ways. Behind the scenes, staff members, advisors, and security teams will have to adjust logistics, communication strategies, and ceremonial routines. The ripple effect reaches everyone touched by the royal household's machinery. As the initial shock begins to settle, the focus will inevitably shift to what lies ahead. Charles remains king, but the tone of his reign will undoubtedly be influenced by this personal development. He may choose to embrace a more introspective, compassionate form of leadership, using his experience as a testament to personal growth amid public service. Or he may retreat into formality, reinforcing traditionalism to counterbalance the disruption caused by the divorce. Whatever path he takes, one thing is certain: the monarchy has entered uncharted territory. This is not simply the end of a royal marriage, it is a cultural moment that forces a re-examination of the intersection between public duty and private happiness. It challenges long-held assumptions about what is acceptable or appropriate within a hereditary institution that relies so heavily on symbolism, continuity, and perception. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on King Charles divorcing Camilla? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.